Hi everybody, so I am Kristen and I am here to talk about my social enterprise Rela. Rela is a platform and distribution model for local art. We're helping anyone engage with art by making it simple through subscription services. We're all familiar with that. So before you worry too much about the word art, because I know that can be intimidating, sometimes that feels like something that's not for everybody, I want to take it back to the idea of making. So everybody makes. We all are making something. Some of us are entrepreneurs in the room. Maybe you have a favorite recipe, or everyone knows how to make. And it's a really powerful thing to experience as the maker, but it's also really powerful when you share what you've made. It can only make an impact in the world when other people can experience what you've created. And without having a method of distributing that, it's almost like the thing that you made doesn't even exist. And there's this void. So this is the problem that I was thinking about when I was working with local artists. So I'm Kristen Brown, I'm a CCAD faculty member, so I'm in this space, and I was thinking about how I could impact artists in our community and realized that there is space to connect community and local artists in a new way. So what does that look like? How could we make art a part of our daily lives and consistently support area artists? And that's when I started asking more questions, which is a great part about the entrepreneurial journey. Just talk to people. So in asking questions, I found out that so many people want to support local art, but they're not always sure how to engage, how to get started, how to be a part of that community. They don't even know where to start. Maybe they attend open studio events, or they go to Gallery Hop, Franklinton Fridays, those events, but even that, they're not getting the experience that they want, or they feel like they're not supporting as much as they could be. So I started thinking about why our spaces that we live and work in are so blank. Even when we want local art in our spaces, we see the value of art, but we live and work in spaces usually with some bare walls. I don't know if anyone has a workspace like that. So I analyzed it and I started to come up with a couple of related problems. The first problem I saw that relates between the market and artists is the fact that there's a surplus of art in studios that is bottlenecked, not making its way into the market. And even when our walls remain bare, we're not able to access that art. Animations. It's also sometimes intimidating to shop for art. Sometimes prices aren't clear. There's not transparent pricing. You have to ask, you have to inquire to purchase, and that's its own journey that some people might feel intimidated by. And at the same time, we don't know what's available because art isn't always on view. Artists are considered successful if they can secure one 30-day exhibition a year, which is a pretty narrow window for you to find the art that resonates with you. And it's all about relationship building. It's like you need to find the work that you like. It could be cost prohibitive to purchase art, and that leaves artists less supported than they could be because there's inconsistent sales, so they don't have a consistent source of income. So as I analyzed these problems, I saw that there is an opportunity here to serve two underserved stakeholders, both people in the community who don't know how to engage with art and the artists who are looking to get more engagement. And we can do that by removing those barriers that I just listed, by not requiring a purchase, making it more accessible, and really turning it into a convenient service. So we're delivering art access through artwork subscriptions. We work with local artists who have, this is Chaz O'Neill's work. He's a local artist. This was a show at Roy. Do you guys know Roy in Franklinton? Roy G. Biv Gallery. This was last fall. He had this great show that he worked a year on for this 30-day exhibit, which was awesome. But at the end, he didn't have a plan for those pieces. So we were able to take two of the three and get them up on view where he was earning consistent money every single month that those pieces were on view. So this is after installation in a residential subscriber's space. And now her space is more exciting and inspired than it would be if it was just a blank wall. So how does this work? It's all wall-based pricing. This means that we're looking at an average display area in your space, And this can hold, a huge aspect of what we're doing is education. So this can hold a single piece or something called a diptych, which is one piece, but it's 2 panels of art. It can hold combinations. But what we're really looking at is that orange display area. So step 1 is to measure your walls. It's all wall-based. That's the problem. We're starting at the problem to get to the solution. You can do that yourself, or you can have us come out for a site visit where we'll measure your walls for you. And then you just pick between 2 simple options. Keep it simple, right? Small and large, that's it. So based on your measurements, if it's smaller than 4 feet by 4 feet, you're small. If it's bigger, you're in the big category. So each wall functions as its own subscription in that way. Then you can pick work from our active real-time inventory of artwork on the website, or you can opt for curation, which I have a slide of in a minute. We do offer curated options for spaces that just want to make the problem go away. We can do that for you as well. And then we manage all the logistics behind the scenes too of delivery and installation. We hire professional gallery installers to install the work in commercial and residential spaces. And then anytime that you're ready for a new view, you can request an artwork refresh. So in a consumer's portal, they have these curated digital mock-ups of artwork options that are the right fit for their space. They just go into their portal and switch out, request those pieces to be switched out, and then we deliver and install those pieces as well. For artists, this is a free service that helps them gain visibility, expanding their network options, and all artwork is available for sale. So it's like making any wall in the spaces where we live and work a functioning gallery. It's a really easy process for them. They apply through our platform. We check the quality on everything to make sure that it's up to our standards. We add it to our platform, and then anytime that work is on view, we're paying them consistently every month. So you can discover local artists on our website, learn about their interests. And the reason this is so important is because we're shifting our buying habits. I don't know about you guys, but you can see that we're more interested in experiences than ownership. And if artists aren't included in that transition, they're going to be less supported than they already are. We're also, as consumers, more conscious than ever about where our money goes. And we want to support social enterprises or organizations that are doing good in the community. So it's important to us that everyone knows that the artists are supported each month that their work is on view. We see this in commercial and residential spaces. We're also serving some nonprofit organizations in their shared spaces. So that's kind of like a hybrid public-private space. And I think there's a lot more opportunity too, so I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts. What kinds of spaces are you thinking about? I'm sure some of your wheels are already turning when you're thinking, where would you like to see art? This is the discussion portion. We'll launch back in, but I want to take a minute to chat. What are you thinking? Where would you like to see art? Yeah. Oh, sorry, I forgot about that aspect.
I just figured I'd stay on your plan.
Thank you.
I still rent like where I live, and
Yeah.
I have been looking to move recently.
Yep.
And so as I've toured some buildings in Columbus, they like brag about showcasing local artists. And actually the property I live in currently, the art's kind of bland. You can kind of tell it's like it's the same art I've seen in like Target or something like that.
Yep.
So I was appreciative of the properties I toured where they say this is from the Kaufman collection or
Yep.
local artists. So that was the first thing that came to mind.
Yep. I think you're spot on, because when you think about being in an apartment, it's not your permanent space. Your furniture might change. The wall space that you have available might change as you move from apartment to apartment.
Well, I was actually saying more like in the common spaces.
Yes.
Of the
Yeah.
building.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. We definitely we're starting those conversations with apartment complexes to be in the lobby, and I also want them to provide us as an amenity to the residents in the apartment. So we have gift cards that they can purchase from us and then share. Exactly. Good thought. I love it. Any other ideas? Yeah. Yes.
Connecting with interior designers,
Yes.
that might be a really good way to get into. My sister's an interior designer, and she was just saying she did an office
Yep.
So something like this would be great.
Connect me to your sister.
I just texted her.
Oh, good. Yep, we have a couple of interior designers that we're having conversations with, but the more the merrier. Yes, exactly. They definitely have their client's ear, so that's a good recommendation. Yeah, I think there are a ton of, there's just a immense opportunity here. I think about it in workspaces, offices, co-working spaces, wherever you're doing work, in your home. So whether that's an apartment or any residential space, and even the spaces where we go for healthcare, like your dentist office. So there are a ton of opportunities, and I also think about the idea that you could have a rotating Zoom background. So a lot of our subscribers have switched their home office to be to have art behind their desk area like this, because it makes it more engaging when you're having those Zoom conversations. So it's meant to be flexible for everybody. In our market research and just the work that we've already been doing, we've seen that commercial spaces are enroll about 9 times the amount of walls that, to each space, and residential spaces enroll maybe 1 to 2. So our focus right now is on commercial spaces. We want to get as much impact as we possibly can. So that's our initial market plan. And we see this as something that can help everybody by making this incredible, like, decentralized gallery model. So we're already doing the work. We're already transforming commercial and residential spaces with art. We're getting great feedback from our community because we're just making that art access easier for them. And I don't need to go into this, but when we do well, our impact also increases. They're directly related. So the more viewers that we have, the more visibility we have for our artists. And that's important because it's for everybody. One of the key markers that we track is community engagement. Engagement isn't just about the person who's enrolling the space, it's about everyone who visits that space too. So thinking about how many eyes each month this artwork is getting. And year over year, whoops, haven't finished these slides. Year over year, we've seen an increase. So we are on track to meet our goal this year of 50 enrolled walls, which is an awesome trajectory that we've been on. So it seems to really be resonating with our community. In addition to the display subscriptions, we also are offering site visits, installations, and refreshes, and this is how our calendar is booked out moving forward. Okay, I'm gonna move faster because you've seen us. Yes, we have big plans. We wanna be everywhere. But one thing at a time. We're really proud of the work that we're already doing in Columbus. With artists earning 25% of every monthly subscription, we've already sent, actually more than this, these numbers are old, but we've already made impact for our community, and we think that we can continue to make even more, and I'm just gonna keep moving through these. We have an incredible team that's helping me do this. It's definitely a team effort, and we're ready to move forward together, and I'm wrapping this up quickly because we think anyone should be able to live inspired. So my ask of my community, right? This is the last question.
Well, yeah, don't.
Oh, sorry.
We'll
Okay.
come back to it.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So we're good for Q&A?
Yes.
Well, thank you so much.
Sorry, I
That was a
just
great
wrapped it up
presentation.
really quickly.
Yeah. All right. Questions?
Yeah.
Just have to project.
Right. So this is a little bit outside of your current scope, but I was curious. I spend all day with computer screens and monitors. Have you thought about maybe having a subscription model for I could put local artists on my TV screen, my computer screen, something like that?
Yep.
Love it.
Wait for it. Don't look at these. Yes. So we're already thinking about what this would look like as a digital service, to be able to cast the artwork and you could have like a set collection of artwork that's a recurring subscription that you could cast to your smart TV. Smart TVs are going to become more common. I know that a lot of people don't have them all yet, but this is something that is definitely on our radar. We're focusing on the work that we're doing right now, but this is in the vision, so you are spot on. I love where your head's at. Yeah. Yeah.
How I heard you pitch someplace else or present
Oh,
someplace else.
sure.
I forget what it's called. How did you get started, and what
Yes.
are you doing for funding, or is this self-funded? Did you
Great question.
bootstrapped? It looked like you had a significant team of, there's like 10 individuals up there. So what have you been doing to, since you've gotten started, and more like the financing side from the behind the scenes?
I love that question because you're catching us up to exactly where we're at right now in our next kind of big undertaking. We are starting the journey of funding right now. So we have been bootstrapped up until this point. This was started as a passion project and then turned into an all-consuming project. And honestly, I've done this very strategically in that a lot of it was like Flintstone, held together with duct tape and string until you just create the minimum viable product, the smallest possible version of it, and then improve it, and then improve it, and then improvement. So if I would have started with the final version of this, it would have been far more expensive. We're starting with the easiest to execute version. And the team that you saw is a team of incredible human beings in Columbus who are donating their time. We have a couple of consultants that we're working with that we do pay for their services to like execute tasks, but that big group of mentors, advisors, the advisory team, they're just incredible people who are really motivated by our mission, vision, and strategy and want to be a part of the journey. So that's been, I would not be here without that. The advice and the influence of, and Columbus is an incredible place to start anything because we have that Midwestern charm, Midwestern kindness, and there's an incredible wealth of talent. So it's a really cool, crux. And anytime that you LinkedIn message somebody or email someone and ask them out for coffee to share, learn some insights, I've never been turned down by anyone. That's how incredible this community is. So just asking a lot of questions and being really forward has helped start the journey. And you're right, we're at a tipping point where I feel like we've demonstrated that there's a market validation here. We are generating revenue. We're ready to kind of put gas in the engine and see where we can take this thing. And so we are starting the funding process right now. So we are looking for investors. That's the conversations that we're having now. Absolutely.
What's your background in?
So my background is in fine arts and the history of art, not business. Yep. This was just a problem and solution that I saw it and I thought, can someone else do this? I actually shopped it around to a couple of local arts organizations to tell them, hey, I think I have this idea. Could someone on your team do this? And they didn't have the bandwidth. And then it was just kind of pestering me, and I thought, I can't let this go. So I just kept working on it, and now it's a business. You kind of fall into things sometimes. You might have a path, but you never know where it's going to go. Yeah.
Okay, I had a couple questions.
Yes.
So is this more so supposed to be like more a marketing tool for the artists, or is this something that will actually be profitable for them?
It's both. It's a great question. Yes, exactly. So I think because it's a free service for them, it's automatically giving them more market visibility, which is an awesome service. It's also increasing the likelihood that their work will sell because we're kind of putting it in front of people in the places where they live and work, so it's not a destination to go shop for the art, and making it easy that it's all online. But it also is meant to be a sustainable revenue source for artists. It is not going to be their only revenue source. It's passive income for them that can be in addition to their whatever they're already doing. But it's an additional passive revenue stream that helps them have consistency in their financial stability. Yes.
So how are you all pushing for the sale of the artwork?
Yep. So we do, I don't have an image of this. I was thinking about that earlier today. We do install artist cards with each piece that's publicly displayed. Residential, they don't want that. We just give them the card. But it's on view. It has a headshot of the artist, a 2-sentence blurb about their work, and then QR codes to instantly purchase the art. So it's fast. They don't have to inquire. They don't have to email anybody. It's done. So we are managing that side of the sales. And then also we have a very low commission rate because we want the artist to be able to earn on their work. So it's much lower than any gallery.
Okay, so then my last question would be a little in your business, but
All good.
what is this a profitable model? Like, is this something that would be scalable? Because I'm thinking of the paying the artist and then maintaining, and then also what happens if the art is damaged. So just a lot of different things.
Yeah. It's smart to think through those details because those details are really where a business model can crack. So I think it's smart to be thinking about that. In terms of damages, the subscriber signs an agreement that's basically a you break it, you buy it agreement. When the art is on view in their space, they are liable for damages. We keep their credit card on file, just like a hotel, so that if we come and we are refreshing the artwork or if they report a damage, we instantly charge their card on file, which means the artist has no opportunity costs. They're paid full purchase price for their work. Good thought. And then, yes, it is profitable and it does scale really beautifully because our margins are low. When the artwork is on view, we don't have any costs, right? Our only costs are 25% to the artist, and the rest of that is revenue because we don't have any COGS for that service. The only COGS that we have are for delivery and installation and refresh, but those are separate services that the subscriber pays for separately. So it does scale. And I didn't include any financials because I felt like it was a little bit like,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. Like,
I was just curious.
Yeah. No, it's important to be thinking about. Yes, it's a social impact model, but it's business first. That just means we have two bottom lines, like double bottom line, to be sustainably, financially sustainable, but also have an impact in our community. So, got to have both. I'm gonna go back to this other slide. Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi. I'm just curious about what has been your biggest lesson that you've learned since you've been in business thus far.
So many. Okay. Top headlines are ask for help. Don't act like you know everything. Mm-hmm. It's okay to be learning. This is all a learning journey. That's all it is. Absolutely. You're always going to be in a new area, learning in a new area. So that it's okay to ask for help. And then I want to say balance, but I can't tell you that I've mastered that.
For sure, definitely.
Work-life balance is something that would be smart to prioritize. It's really hard. Entrepreneurship isn't easy. It's a blast, but it's not easy. Sure. So I would like to be better at setting up those guardrails in my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a lesson that I'm continually learning for sure. Yeah.
And where do you see yourself by the end of the year?
By the end of the year, we're funded, and that means we can expand our team, which means I will hopefully have a better work-life balance. And we hit our goals of at least 50 walls in our community, but I would love to exceed that goal. And we're thinking about, what's next? What other markets can we expand to? But really having more market awareness and recognition. When you're early on, nobody knows you exist. I would love people to know that we exist. So it's really awesome to hear that you knew that we existed. Yeah. So that makes a big impact for us. Yeah.
Great work. You're doing great.
Thank you. It's fun. It's like a puzzle. Yeah. Or an escape room.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So if the price of painting artwork is variable depending on the artist and their price that they perceive it to be, what do you go to the artist with essentially a set price that just says, look, we pay $50 per square foot for the art no matter what you value the artwork at? Or?
That's exactly right. Yeah, we take out the subjective aspect of pricing. Yeah. So the purchase price is still set by the artist, absolutely, because they know their market, they know their value. Our subscriptions are flat rates. So a space could be hosting $300 art or $3,000 art, and they're paying the same consistent monthly rate. We do want to expand to have an additional plan. We just had the small and large, keeping it simple. Start easy. We do want to have another plan later that's like a premium plan for higher end art. Exactly. But we're just starting here right now. And yes, I think that it helps spaces budget. If you want to switch out the art, but you know that would increase your rate, a business is not going to do that. They want to just be able to plan for the year. So yeah, trying to eliminate the fluctuating factors that make the art market intimidating for some people. Yeah.
Do you see more commercial customers using this or more residential customers?
It's fascinating because right now our subscriber base is actually 50-50. It's just that the commercial spaces enroll more walls. So, thinking through sites as opposed to subscriptions, they're two different things when we're tracking our data. But I think more commercial spaces, they have more of a incentive to do this because they have more stakeholders. So their employees, visitors to their space, especially bringing people back to spaces. I mean, I think it's after COVID, it's getting better, but they need to, they have more reasons to, commercial spaces have more reasons to do that, and also to showcase that they're an innovative, hip, cool, like the apartment, the complex that you're talking about, that resonated with you as a consumer. So I think we have more opportunity in the commercial market, but I also want this to be something that anyone can access. So I want it to be easy to activate a plan, launch that in a residential space as well. Did I just hit a button? Yep.
One last question.
Yep.
What do you foresee as being like the choke point of your business in like 5 years? Do you find that you would run out of art so that your accumulation of artists will need to increase? Do you find that you're going to not be able to make enough sales? Do you find that storing the art might be difficult? Do you find that maybe reimbursing damaged art might become the difficult, or insuring damaged art might be the most difficult? What's like your perceived this is how we fail, or choke point, maybe I should say?
This is a fascinating question because it's the series of hypotheses, right? And that's all I'm doing throughout building the business model, is taking every hypothesis and testing it. Another hypothesis, test it. Improve upon it, test it. Those are all my fears. All of those are my fears. But as we're building it incrementally, I can think about what the 5-year version looks like, but I can act on the 90-day version. And we can say, if we're targeting 60 businesses, well, how many walls do they enroll? About 9. Okay, so how many works of art do we need to have on hand? And what if so we're doing those calculations in advance to be able to prepare to be able to provide the services. So it is balancing that supply and demand throughout the journey. I have confidence in the Columbus creative community that we will not run out of art because artists are always producing, truly. It's amazing that every time we tell an artist, hey, your inventory is all out on view, we don't have anything. Do you want to re-up? Do you want to submit more art? They always say yes. We've never had anyone say, no, I don't have anything right now. So it's really smart to be thinking about all the what ifs, all the potentials. There's so many, but you also have to have confidence in the direction that you're going and just say, we will cross that bridge when we come to it. There's a lot of duct tape in the journey. Yes. Yeah, no, you don't have to.
What is the biggest expected cost of your business as you move forward to grow? Like, what do you need investment for?
Yeah.
What do you foresee being your cost then as you move forward?
Yeah, you're right. So as we scale, we'll need more storage space because it is a huge portion of our operations is warehousing, storage, and distribution, because we are storing the art for artists while in between displays, which is a service for them. So you're right, the logistics is a big piece of the puzzle. We're talking with logistics companies to learn best practices and see how we can kind of replicate what they're already doing. So I think the biggest expenses are staff, people who can execute this, building out the team and making sure that we're working towards our shared goals. So it's also a long deal timeline. So in the commercial space, it usually has to go through multiple stakeholders, right? The facilities team has to talk to the finance team, so that deal cycle can be long. We need to have the runway to be able to withstand those long deal cycles and not run out of cash flow in the meantime. So time, staff, growing into a new facility eventually. Yeah, lots of things on the radar. Thinking in multiple timelines simultaneously. Yeah.
So kind of on that line, what do you think the end state is for staff, and and how does that work with scale as well? Like,
that's right.
If you go nationwide, will the staff have to increase? Do you need people in place at the locations? Like, what does that look like?
Exactly. Yep, you're thinking about our growth strategy, which is my vision is to have a team in Columbus. That's our headquarters. And then as we grow to new locations, we'd only truly need one staff member. And that would be the person who would be in the role of artist coordinator. The other execution roles, so like the art installers, the people who are delivering the art, that is all going to be managed by contract employees, because that's how we do it now. We partner with galleries to use their installers. We can do the exact same thing in these new communities that we're expanding to. We can also work with galleries to onboard their existing roster of artists, because it's providing an additional opportunity to their artists. So I think most of the operations will happen in the headquarters, the hub, and expanding will not be replicating it won't require replicating every staff member in every location. It's just key players. And I learned that by talking to other local Columbus startups who have multiple locations and asked them, how'd you do this? So asking questions. Stump is who told me how to do that.
All right, well, the last question
Yes.
that we ask
Yes.
all of our presenters
Yes.
is, what can we as a community do for you?
Thank you. Yes, and I'm ready for it. Okay. So I am interested in helping get the word out. I need people to know that we exist, because we are a service for both commercial and residential spaces. If your sister just moved into a new apartment, if your dentist has awful posters on the wall, if you're, anyone that you know probably has a wall and probably is looking for a way to get more involved with local art, we can help. So if you have a space, I'd love for you to support by enrolling, or tell your friends. Follow us on Instagram at rela.art, all of our social media, everything that we do, our website, it's all rela.art. And then tell us where you'd like to see a Rela wall. So if you're in a space and you are thinking, gosh, they could use a spruce up, take a picture, post it, make a story, tag us, and then we will reach out to that space on your behalf. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we are also fundraising right now. So if you know somebody who this might be a great way to invest, connect us, and I'd love to have a conversation to talk more about it. So yes, and this is my LinkedIn personally, so that's the best way to reach me. Love to have a coffee chat with anybody, but spread the word. Tell everyone. Yeah. Thank you.